Good morning.
Good morning.
Or as I should probably say, kia ora this morning.
Yes.
So kia ora it
Kia
is to
ora.
you then. And listen, have you seen this? This is the ultimate thing, eh?
What?
I gotta share this. This is for our non-sensitive viewers. If you ever need a mask, because you need specific masks these days.
Okay.
This is a mask to use. So okay, I'm just gonna.
Oh no.
All right, you've got that. That is the mask to
Oh.
use. So presumably that's the best way to go. Okay. Yeah. Um,
I'm
from between mask wearing and talking to New Zealanders or understanding New Zealand in total, I do believe New Zealand has got their own English language. And good morning to Lisa Maribota. So good morning to those who said good morning. New Zealand's got a very unique English.
yeah. We can do the slang later. I think we must just tell them a little bit about um things that you didn't know about New Zealand or
Okay, give me
yeah.
one.
Um like we do boerewors rolls in South Africa all the time.
Yeah.
They do sausage sizzles. And I couldn't believe that this is actually a thing. I was just thinking, don't they know that you can use a
A
roll
bun
for that?
and
Yes.
put some margarine or butter
Oh
on there.
my word. The first time we were invited to, it was a volunteer thing that
Yeah.
can't remember what we did. But anyway, afterwards they said there'll be something to eat and drink. So it was sausage sizzles. So it's just this, a stack of loaves of bread,
That's
just
cut
the
bread
slices.
slices.
You take a slice and you put a sausage on the bread, and that's what you eat.
And it's not boerewors. It is
It's I still
one on
can't
another
I
fabric
still can't
made
do it.
thing. So yeah, all right. And they chuck in some what is fried onion, and then you fold this thing like this and you eat it.
Mm.
You just have as well a nice bun, boerewors,
No, they don't do it like that.
and like
And the
that.
funny thing is, my friend who's been here for 13 or 14 years now, his son actually prefers the sausage sizzle.
Okay, that you got to blame his father for that.
Poor George. And
uh,
they take those sausages that you buy. It's just like processed meat
yeah, it's
kind
some
of thing.
stuff that's in the bag.
And that's what they have for lunch. You put it in the microwave, you heat it up, and that's what you eat. So
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever.
Can I put the pun intended there?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's a weird one. You've heard it a lot of times. Yeah, no.
You know what that means?
Never got the faintest idea.
It means no.
But okay.
And
Now
no
you
yeah
get.
means yes. So it,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Because I actually saw these two guys the other day, two tradies standing there. The one said, yeah, no, that's Yanni, Inni, yeah, Yanni.
No, that's it's not really like
I
that.
just thought, okay, guys, what are you trying to say to each other?
Yeah.
I hope there wasn't a big
They
discussion
say
about.
that when they're not really sure if it's yes or no. But
Oh, okay.
apparently, if the na is last, then it's no.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is a little bit confusing.
It's like South Africans. We as South Africans has got to watch the following. We like to say yeah.
Yeah.
Now everybody in South Africa, whatever your color is, whatever your race or religion is,
You know what it
you
means.
know what means yeah. In Kiwiland they don't do.
But you know what? I still say yeah.
I
Because
do understand where you come from.
I
That's
just
South
feel,
Africa.
yeah, but there are so many South Africans in New Zealand. If they don't know by now what yeah
No,
means,
they don't know. I've seen the confusion come in their faces.
you must just say yeah, then they'll understand.
Yeah. So
And then another thing about New Zealand is they think they've got the best coffee in the whole world. They'll say that.
I actually
They
want
do.
to agree
They
with
do
them.
have good coffee, but
Yeah.
I've tasted better in Italy.
Yeah, but the Italian coffee is just something else.
Yeah, but New Zealand thinks that their coffee is the best.
But remember, what I thought about Italy was their coffee was basically all on the same standard. They all had very much the same type of coffee. On New Zealand, you get all these weird, different coffees,
And in New Zealand, there's a coffee shop literally on every corner of the street. Doesn't matter where you are, there will be a coffee shop.
So there isn't one. There will be somebody in a cart selling coffee.
Yeah, no, they big on coffee.
Big on coffee.
And the thing is, when we first arrived here and we saw what the coffee shops looked like, I was a little disappointed. And some of them don't even have like a real menu. You can just buy the stuff from the counter. What is in the counter? What do you call it?
Oh yeah. Well, what's behind the glass?
Behind the glass. Yeah.
Nina.
But it doesn't matter if you're in the smallest
little
town that looks like really nothing. I can promise you, the food that's in that glass box
it's fresh.
Is fresh and really good.
Yeah, that I can promise you. That food is really, really fresh. You can go and buy that.
Yeah.
And I bought a pie actually the other day from I won't say a bad coffee shop, but a middle of the road coffee shop, and I bought it about 10 minutes before they were closing.
And it was still good.
And I was thinking, oops, a dodgy pie perhaps. And no, it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no, their food is really good. We also realized that you can actually share if you order from a decent restaurant food. You can actually share because you get so much food for your money. It's really, you can actually share.
Yep.
And then another thing is the pies. And I must agree, New Zealand has got the best pies that I've ever in my life tasted.
I've never seen these competitions that they hold for the pies, but I would love to see one of those.
Yeah.
I think that must be...
We first thought when we were here in 2016, and we were still... we were on a very tight budget, and New Zealand was very expensive. So when it's lunchtime,
on rands,
you walk in and out of the coffee shops because there's just nothing. I can't afford $10 for one plate of food. So we decided, okay, let's have a pie. Then we walked into this bakery, there's also a bakery in every little town, and it was Chinese owners.
And I thought that was dodgy.
I just see them. I don't know if Chinese. What do they know about pies? What meat is in that pies?
I was thinking cat, dog.
But it was the best pie.
It was really good.
Yeah. So now we just I haven't had a pie in a very long time, but the pies are really, really, really good.
The pies you buy is of very high quality,
and
buy the pies that are open, not the ones in
the fresh pies.
Buy the fresh pies. Don't buy these pre-made things that are heated up.
Then one thing that I can say, and I know in South Africa it's also true, the stars at night. We were on a farm this past weekend, and the stars it was amazing. It was so clear.
We actually were taking some. We're taking a time relay video of the stars, and we were just about 10 minutes into this video, and the next minute, the Elon Musk Starlink.
Yes.
I was thinking that was about probably 300 stars that came over. So somewhere along the line, the Val is still busy with this video, and that was absolutely wow.
Everyone just went quiet, and we all just gazed at this.
That was
really magnificent.
Wow.
So yes, the stars are really beautiful in New Zealand. Then one thing, and I know for some people this is really odd. I think coming from a small town in South Africa, it's not that odd to me, but the people walk barefoot in New Zealand. They, I should say, I don't always agree with it because I don't think you should walk barefoot when you go into a shop or when you go shopping or But these people just walk barefoot everywhere.
And that's part of the culture. That's part of the culture.
Yeah.
I just saw somebody said, toasted sandwiches is a bit sad down here. I don't know where you buy your toasted sandwiches. I've got one place where I go and buy toasted sandwiches, and I can't say this is for every place. So excuse me, I'm buying toasted sandwiches, cheese, tomato and bacon sandwiches down
Yeah,
at this one
but I
place
think
only.
what she means
I fully
is
understand that. Yeah.
you don't get the fancy ones. You don't get chicken mayo sandwiches
No,
anywhere.
no.
You get it's normally like they say toasted sandwich with
Mm.
three fillings, and it would be ham, cheese, pineapple, onion, sometimes bacon. But they eat funny. They don't do the chicken mayo
Yeah.
or the chicken with brie or whatever. They just
Uh,
do.
there
Yeah,
could be a reason why.
yes, I know,
Mm.
but we used
We
to
used
a
to eat
nice
the
toasted
different, yeah.
sandwich. Yes, no, that's really
So,
true.
all right. What else was there?
One thing that is that's really, I don't know, on the radio, the presenters can say whatever they want.
Oh yeah,
If whether it's
yeah,
politically correct or
yeah,
incorrect or whether no one agrees with
and they
you,
swear as well.
they swear.
Yeah,
Yes,
I've heard
yeah,
that on radio,
yeah.
and that's not some random guy phoning in. It's the presenters
Yes,
swearing.
no,
Yeah.
they can say whatever they want. I don't think
Mm.
they'll get into trouble for saying
No,
anything. Do you?
no, and
I
it's,
don't think so.
yeah. What else? Except the presenters.
Um, um, we all know by now that Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, well, the movies were shot in New Zealand. So everywhere you go, something will have. I don't know. There will be some part of it that was in the Lord of the Rings. You can't go anywhere without a little
But
Hobbit.
I find this intriguing.
It's really nice.
And you know what?
Mm,
That has bound New Zealand together.
mm.
Because the other day we were down on a previous trip. We were down, there in the sticks, man. Somebody said, "Oh, did you know the Hobbit was?" And they explained to us where it wasn't very
Yeah.
far from us, but we couldn't find the specific spot
Yes.
where a scene was shot. So presumably, everywhere in New Zealand, a scene of the Hobbit or Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings was shot.
It's just everywhere, but it is
Mm.
nice.
It
is
is
really
nice.
nice.
It binds them
And
together.
if you are in New Zealand and you haven't been to Hobbiton, I know it sounds really expensive, and it is actually,
It is
especially
expensive.
if you're
Yeah.
new in New Zealand and you're still, yeah, it is expensive, but it is really worth the
Mm.
money.
Put it on your savings bucket
Yes.
list to do. It's really
We
worth the
saved
while.
for it, and I haven't been. This I've been. I'm really glad we did it.
I think we should call them and tell them that we've said this on live
Maybe
Facebook,
they'll
and
give us a few
tickets.
It's
So,
really worth it. I think it will be good if you've seen the movie.
mm,
I only watched The Hobbit. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings, but it really helps you a little bit with understanding what the set is all about.
yeah.
But even if you haven't seen the movies, it's out of this world. It's really worth seeing.
And especially the way that the whole little town or the Hobbiton is set up. I mean,
Yeah,
it feels like suddenly you're transported to a different world.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So
what else have you
that's
got
really
there?
good. Then another thing is when you go into a restaurant, um, no one's gonna come around and get your order. Some restaurants do, they've got waiters that come and get your order, but mostly
Especially now with COVID,
with
I
COVID,
see
they do that more,
they
yes.
take it to the table. You've got
Um,
to sit.
but no one is gonna bring you a bill afterwards.
Mm.
Don't wait for the bill. You're gonna sit there until tomorrow morning. You stand up and you go pay in front. And I don't know how they do it, but when you get in front, you don't say I was at table number this or whatever. They just know what you had.
Yeah.
How do they know that?
I don't know. But you also got to check your bills. I have found quite a few
Okay.
faults. I found a few faults with our bills.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't
No,
nasty. They were
no,
nasty.
no.
Um,
And they don't have a problem with splitting bills in New Zealand
Mm.
at all. We were at that one
And the
place in Auckland
Yeah,
the one day
Auckland,
where the guy was really nasty. But otherwise, you can be a party of 20 people and everyone wants to pay for his own food, and they don't have a problem with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
they
So,
just carry on with their
yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
So-
Just hoping that everyone pays what they had. So otherwise, the last guy is going to
Gonna
pay
pay
for
the last.
anything that's left.
Somebody
Um,
just said he said they've got this thing about ladies going into the grocery shopping in their swimming clothes with only their towels around
Yeah.
their bodies. So
Yeah.
it's not a South African thing that as well.
No.
What I
You
find
would never do
interesting is I saw this the first time while they were busy building at the Bay Fair Centre.
Mm.
They were building on the one side, and the rest was still shopping centre. everybody who went in took off their dirty boots in outside the center,
Yeah.
not inside, outside the center. So you walk up to the center, and they had this narrow passageway to enter the center because of the building overhead, and all the boots were standing here, and the guys were walking inside the center on their socks. So yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I've
keeping the
seen
place
that.
clean as
Yes,
well.
and then
Yeah, it's practical.
Yeah, because there are so many tradies in
Yeah.
New Zealand, and you really don't want those
But,
guys.
but as well, I mean, now thinking back of Bayfair, I've never seen that place actually dirty.
No,
I've never seen that place actually dirty.
no.
Neither have I ever seen anybody clean it.
I must say, I've been to a few coffee shops that wasn't that clean.
Oh, okay.
The food is good. I think it's because they have to clean the place themselves, and probably they're understaffed, or I don't know what. So sometimes the floor and so can really be dirty.
Or sticky where somebody has just messed some stuff. So.
But anyway, I've just asked sometimes, can you please just clean the table or whatever?
And they do that immediately.
Yeah, no, they don't have a problem with doing that.
I've seen you being stuck up like that.
No, you're the one that's stuck up.
Yeah, I don't want to eat from a dirty table.
Yeah.
So.
And then another thing, in New Zealand, you'll hear that they talk about FPOS. That's just the thing. It's actually just where you pay with your bank, or it's like a debit transaction. That's what it is.
I wonder where this came from.
I don't know what what does it stand for? Electronic fund
transfer.
Yeah, probably. So it's actually, if they say, is it cash or FPOS? And if in the beginning I didn't know what they mean.
Cash or bank card.
You just pay with your card. That's what it means.
And some places here use PayWave, and some places will warn you before you take PayWave. They'll actually add on 3% to your bill if you use PayWave.
No, that's only if you pay with a credit card.
No. I actually had a place the other day that had a sign on saying if you use PayWave, they'll add 3% to your bill.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
The machine is probably a little bit more expensive.
I don't know. I haven't got the phones idea why, but that was my experience the other day. So.
Yeah. With COVID, it's good to have PayWave, but I don't have a problem just putting in my PIN.
Yeah. One of those things.
Brain smash. Then the way that you pay your rent in New Zealand is weekly. So and it is quite expensive. So when someone's, and this is, I don't know where you pay this, but say for instance you pay $500. Say your rent is $500. It's actually $500 per week. It's not $500 for the month. So
but there's a lot of, I want to say there's a lot of pros for paying weekly. There's a lot of pros. We were actually having a discussion last night, and they talked about a certain group of people that got to pay once a month in South Africa, and then for 3 days these group would never even come to work. They were just drunk. I would have wondered what happened if they got paid weekly. But anyway, at least with weekly, you don't get your pay one time. You get spread over a period of time. So.
It is a good thing to get paid weekly because you'll never go hungry because you'll always have money for food. But on the other hand, you'll never learn how to save if you get paid weekly, because you get your money, you spend it. You get your money, you spend it. You don't learn that I have to save this because at the end of the month I have to pay this and that.
I have a lot of clients who gets paid weekly, and they deduct money from their accounts because in New Zealand you can just go into the bank and add a debit order yourself to your thing, and they just deduct these money to unit trust, and that unit trust gets paid immediately every week. So I don't know, a lot of clients will tell you I get paid on let's say every Thursday. By Friday, they run that debit order to their own unit trust.
But it is a good thing to just know that there's always money coming in next week, so you don't have to stress for the whole month. You just stress for the weekend.
Just use less money on the weekend. That's the other thing. So
yeah. I haven't completed my list before we started. So that's the rent and that's the FPOS. What else can you think of? Let me see what I've got on my list.
Things that's different in New Zealand. Point one is that you chuck in your own petrol if you go to the station.
Yeah, I just got to put on my glasses so that I can see what's going on.
Oh my goodness, she's
showing Omar is coming out now. Yes.
She. If you go to a petrol filling station, you have to add your own petrol. If you want your tires pumped, you do your own tire thing. while in South Africa you always got somebody that will help you there, and a lot of the garages in New Zealand is unmanned. There's nobody at there at all. There's not even a little shop down there. You just get these pumps standing there. You go, you pay, and you throw your own juice into there.
Yeah.
So that's something which we had to learn very quickly, because I mean, you arrive at the garage, your tank is empty, you can't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I sat there and nobody came to help us. So,
You'll sit there for a very long
yeah.
time. In the beginning, I didn't know how to do it. Or I knew how to do it, but I was just scared to do it. Or I don't know what.
Lazy.
So I'll say to him, I need I need petrol. I'll meet you at the station, and then he has to fill up my car. But I'm good now.
Yeah.
I'm good now. I can do it.
I see on the other side someone saying, Francine saying, closed store online shopping.
There are a few franchise clothes stores, and then there are a few boutique-like stores.
I'm weird with these things. I don't like. I love online shopping. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't like to shop for clothes online.
Yeah.
I'm so afraid I'll get the things, and it'll be a little T-shirt like this saying extra large.
Yes, the thing is with online shopping is huge in New Zealand. Everyone buys online. I won't buy clothes and shoes online, but you can buy everything online. I am now, because we send out gifts to Jan's clients now and then, and I used to go into the post office or post shop or whatever you call it, and then buy the bags, the postage bags from there. But now I just do it online, and it gets delivered within 2 days.
Yeah,
the delivery system is really good, the courier company. So all of that stuff I buy online. It's only the clothes and so that I go to the shops for, but there are plenty of clothing stores.
Somebody say agree. You don't like to buy clothes online. I fully agree.
No, you never know.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Or the thing is, I've bought some online. I've bought a few swimsuits or what did I call it?
I hope I'm allowed to say this. I went into Cotton On. I'm going to take them out this morning. I went in. I saw they've had beautiful T-shirts. I bought every color. I think I bought about 6 T-shirts. One wash, and it wasn't the same size.
Okay.
So that wasn't a good experience for me, and that wasn't even online.
And swimsuit is called a togs in New Zealand. So you pack your togs. And it's not your kids' rugby shoes. It's a swimsuit actually. So I bought swimsuits online. Some of them were great. Some of them were just like a little sticky lap. I don't know. You can't wear
them. You should wear them.
Well, but online shopping is huge. And then someone's asking about the cleaning of your house. You do your own housework. You can get a cleaner,
but they are expensive.
It is expensive because you pay them minimum wage
per
hour.
On the camera,
sorry,
falling off the screen.
I don't know where your camera is. There or is it? I see myself everywhere. Okay, so you can get a cleaner and pay some. I know they ask between $25 and $35 an hour. So I presume it depends on how.
My wife loves this stuff. You like this stuff?
Food boxes, yes. Yep. We also order HelloFresh. I order 3 meals a week. So then the other, because we like to entertain. So some weeks we don't even do the 3 days because we have people around all the time. But some weeks we get around to the 3 meals, and it's really not expensive. I think it's $129 for 3 meals for 4 people a week.
Yeah.
And it's easy. The meals is like between 25 and 40 minutes, and you've got your dinner. So it really makes life, and it's healthy. Or I pick the healthy option. Yeah. Although you wouldn't say that.
It's actually good. It's good food that they supply. Being quite frank, I mean, I wonder where they get this food, and the price is reasonable.
Yes, it's not.
That's what I'm meaning. Where do they
really
get the food at that price? Because they still need to make some.
Yeah. And it's enough food. There's enough food for us, for the 4 of us, and we 4 grown-ups to eat. And most days, Zon there's leftovers for Zon to take to work. So, yeah, that really helps. It really helps. What else, Jan?
What about a few slangs? Let's do a few slangs. That's quite the one, and that caught me off guard the most was sweet ass.
Sweet ass, and now everyone is just sweet ass.
That would have been fine if it came from a woman. I would have actually thought you're quite right, but that came from a guy. So
Yeah.
but sweet ass is just a
ass.
saying. So it's all right. It's like
Yeah.
all right, but sweet ass.
Do you want something more, something else to drink? And you say no, they say sweet ass. Or if you ask someone how you doing, and they'll say good as gold.
Good as gold's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Good thing.
Just one thing that I wanted to say is sweets in New Zealand they call lollies. So if the kids want lollies, it's not like a lollipop. It's just any kind of sweet. It's a lolly. What else is there?
The other problem is the chocolates is very good.
Yeah, but the chocolates are really
They're really good.
And then jandals, that's like flip flops. They call jandals. So we also talk about jandals now because no one knows what you're talking about if you say
flip flops. Doesn't no one understands.
I don't know what it means.
Lolly cake too. Lolly cake. That's a New Zealand solid New Zealand thing. Yeah.
Lolly cake and pineapple lumps. That's the New Zealand brand.
If you never had lolly cake and you are in New Zealand, I don't know what's wrong with you. Go to your nearest bakery and ask them for lolly cake.
Yeah,
it's good. Really good.
It's good.
It's quite sweet, but it's really good.
If someone is happy about something, they'll say they're stoked.
This is one I haven't. What? Ice cream's called ice block.
Yes, I've heard that.
Oh no, I haven't heard that before. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So there, I'm also learning something new on Thursday morning. Okay.
No. The nothing is always there.
Baran saying they call dinner tea.
Yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to say. If they say, come for tea and bring a plate. If they say that to me, I would think, okay, it's tea, so maybe I should take some cooked dish or something.
And
so
don't come with an empty plate.
But tea is actually dinner, and don't come with just something that you'll have for tea. Come with food. That's what it means. So yeah, they'll invite you for tea, and that's actually dinner.
Yeah. Okay, we've got 2 minutes. Let's sum it up. It's an interesting perspective to live here. It's an interesting perspective to try and understand the New Zealanders. I'm not 100% there yet, and I'm still willing to learn. But you have to be willing to learn.
Yeah.
That's probably the most difficult part because we believe that we are always right, and they believe they are always right, and they are probably more right than us because it's their country. So, and you need to adapt to your circumstances. You can't make a little South Africa of where you are now. So,
I think there's some of those slang and words and stuff that I'll probably never ever use. I can't see myself ever saying sweet ass. But it's good to know.
You can try it on me.
It's good to know these things because then at least you know what they say when they talk to you. Because some of them, it's the one slang word after the other. So if you don't understand it, you'll really struggle.
And then the throw ye na, and na ye, and in between, and that becomes even worse. So Lauren Lindicke said, I once bought an actual plate because I thought they didn't have plates in their house.
That's what I also thought.
And she was actually packing the plates into a little basket. And I said, don't think this is what
bring
they
a
were
plate.
So,
yeah, it's really funny.
It's really funny, yeah.
Anyway, I think we can. There's enough to say for another 2 hours, probably.
Another 2 hours. And what I want to do one day, I want to talk a bit about working with your money in New Zealand. I don't want to do financial stuff. I want to do more about. Because last night we had a long discussion about money, especially when to buy what and when not to buy what. So, you remember the tomato story last night, tomato and cucumber story. So, yeah. All right, that was us, guys and girls. Thanks a lot for your time this morning. So there was about 30 odd people listening to our rambling about New Zealand. So, all right, let's say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Enjoy your time, and you can take Monday off. Mondays are public holiday.
I know.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I'll arrange with Jacinda.
We are supposed to hear today when the borders will open for us to fly.
Really?
Someone said last night that it's today that they'll. Is it today? Am I wrong? Did I get the wrong information? I hope
if the borders, whatever they say today, and if it's there, we'll go live at that stage to tell everybody. Because I've had a lot of messages this morning from 4 o'clock about when is the border open.
Not opening for people to come in.
go out,
for us to go out and come in without
to run away. All right. I'll say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. See you all later. Bye. Bye.